You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Right now, what is happening in the United States House, Democrats are making their effort when it comes to targeting that nutcase out of Georgia, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, they are voting to strip her for committee assignments. Why? Well, let's see. She's a racist. She's a bigot. She's an idiot. She's a QAnon supporter, you name it. So, you know what? Before we play her speech, let's just go ahead and roll it.
No charcoal grills are allowed. I'm white. I got you, huh?
Illegally selling water without a permit
on my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
So earlier today, Marjorie Taylor took to the floor of the U.S. House to plead her case, to show everyone that she's a Jesus lover, that she is someone who, oh my goodness, she just loves the Lord and all that sort of stuff along those lines. Actually, before I go to her, right now, Congresswoman Lucy McBath is speaking on the floor. She was speaking on the floor, and so we're going to try to pull her speech. But before we go back to the floor, if y'all want to just, let's see if your heart has been touched by just the words of now the humbled Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, my Democrat colleagues, Republican colleagues, my district back home in Georgia 14, to the American people, to my mom and dad, and my husband and my children. I've been here for 1 month and a day, and I've gotten to know part of my conference, my Republican colleagues, but not even all of them yet. I haven't gotten to know any of my Democrat colleagues, and I haven't had to have any conversations with any of you to tell you who I am and what I'm about. You only know me by how Media Matters, CNN, MSNBC, and the rest of the mainstream media is portraying me. What you don't know about me is that I'm a very proud wife of almost 25 years, that I'm a mother of 3 children, and I consider being a mother the greatest blessing of my life and the greatest thing that I'll ever achieve. I'm proudly the first person to graduate college in my family, making my parents very happy and proud. I'm also a very successful business owner. We've grown our company from 1 state to 11 states. I'm a very hard worker. I've always paid my taxes. I've never been arrested. I've never done drugs, but I've gotten a few speeding tickets in my day. What you need to know about me is I'm a very regular American, just like the people I represent in my district and most people across the country. I never ever considered to run for Congress or even get involved in politics. As a matter of fact, I wasn't a political person until I found a candidate that I really liked, and his name is Donald J. Trump when he ran for president. To me, he was someone I could relate to, someone that I enjoyed his plain talk, not the offensive things, but just the way he talked normally. And I thought, finally, maybe this is someone that will do something about the things that deeply bother me, like the fact that we're so deeply in debt that our country has murdered over 62 million people in the womb. The fact that our borders are open and some of my friends have had their children murdered by illegal aliens. Or perhaps that maybe we can stop sending our sons and daughters to fight in foreign wars and be used as the world's police, basically. Or maybe that our government would stand up for our American businesses and our American jobs and make the American people and the American taxpayers their focus. These are the things that I care about deeply. So when we elected President Trump, and then I started seeing things in the news that didn't make sense to me, like Russian collusion, which are conspiracy theories also and have been proven so. these things bothered me deeply. And I realized just watching CNN or Fox News, I may not find the truth. And so what I did is I started looking up things on the internet, asking questions like most people do every day. Use Google. And I stumbled across something, and this was at the end of 2017, called QAnon. Well, these posts were mainly about this Russian collusion information. A lot of it was some of what I would see on the news at night, and I got very interested in it. So I posted about it on Facebook, I read about it, I talked about it, I asked questions about it, and then more information came from it. But you see, here's the problem. Throughout 2018, because I was upset about things and didn't trust the government, really, because the people here weren't doing the things that I thought they should be doing for us, the things that I just told you I cared about. And I want you to know, a lot of Americans don't trust our government, and that's sad. The problem with that is, though, is I was allowed to believe things that weren't true, and I would ask questions about them and talk about them. And that is absolutely what I regret. Because if it weren't for the Facebook post and comments that I liked in 2018, I wouldn't be standing here today, and you couldn't point a finger and accuse me of anything wrong, because I've lived a very good life that I'm proud of, my family's proud of, my husband's proud of, my children are proud of, and that's what my district elected me for. So later in 2018, when I started finding misinformation, lies, things that were not true in these QAnon posts, I stopped believing it. And I want to tell you, any source, and I say this to everyone, any source of information that is a mix of truth and a mix of lies is dangerous, no matter what it is saying, what party it is helping, anything or any country it's about. It's dangerous. And these are the things that happen on the left and the right. And it is a true problem in our country. So I walked away from those things, and I decided I'm going to do what I've done all my life. I'm going to work hard and try to solve the problems that I'm upset about. So I started getting involved in politics. You see, school shootings are absolutely real. And every child that is lost, those families mourn it. I understand how terrible it is, because when I was 16 years old in 11th grade, my school was a gun-free school zone, and one of my schoolmates brought guns to school and took our entire school hostage. And that happened right down the hall from my classroom. I know the fear that David Hogg had that day. I know the fear that these kids have. And this is why, and I say this sincerely with all my heart, because I love our kids, every single one of your children, all of our children. I truly believe that children at school should never be left unprotected. I believe they should be just as protected as we were with 30,000 National Guardsmen. Our children are our future, and they're our most precious resource. I also want to tell you 9/11 absolutely happened. I remember that day crying all day long watching it on the news. And it's a tragedy for anyone to say it didn't happen. And so that I definitely want to tell you, I do not believe that it's fake. I also want to tell you.
I'm done listening to her. Bring in the panel. Now, y'all, what I didn't get to with the part, matter of fact, y'all find it for me. Y'all find it for me when she said, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, and folk make mistakes, and we all sin, and y'all, she was playing that Jesus card real hard. I've been humbled by this, and I've been, there have been a lot of speeches on the floor today, lighting her ass up. Let me tell you who brought the funk. Steny Hoyer of Maryland. Watch this.
I heard about motherhood today. Two of those women, between them have 6 children. They're mothers. One of them does not have children. And she's come to this body asking for more housing for people, for more health care for people, for more income for people. How awful. And they're not the Squad. They're Elon. They're Alexandria. And they're Rashida. They are people. They are our colleagues. And yes, you may have disagreements. But I don't know anybody, including Steve King, who you precluded from going on committees, for much less. And this is an AR-15 in the hands of Miss Greene. This was on Facebook just a few months ago. That is a message of peace and reconciliation and peaceful democratic dialogue. The Squad's worst enemy, AR-15, in hand.
Sounds like the guns I fled.
I have never, ever seen that before.
Y'all go ahead and play that. I just love Jesus.
Opportunity, and I'll tell you why. I believe in God with all my heart, and I'm so grateful to be humbled, to be reminded that I'm a sinner and that Jesus died on the cross to forgive me for my sins. And this is something that I absolutely rejoice in today to tell you all. And I think it's important for all of us to remember none of us are perfect. None of us are. And none of us can even come close to earning our way into heaven just by our acts and our works. But it's only through the grace of God. And this is why I will tell you, as a member of this Congress, the 117th Congress, I'm a passionate person. I'm a competitor. I'm a fighter. I will work with you for good things for the people of this country. But the things I will not stand for is abortion. I think it's the worst thing this country has ever committed.
Abortion is the worst thing this country's ever committed. How about slavery when they ripped the babies out of the wombs of black women? See, here's the deal here, Erica, you being from Georgia, with this trifling ass woman right here. Steny Hoyer nailed it. She stood up there and said, I've gotten a chance to know some of the Republicans in our conference. I haven't gotten a chance to know the Democrats. They only know me from what they've heard of from Media Matters and CNN. No. Cori Bush know about your ass.
Right.
When you and your staff accosted Congresswoman Cori Bush in the hallway, forcing her to move. Your Jesus-loving, trifling ass didn't all of a sudden, you wasn't loving the Lord when you went off on her. You wasn't humble, and you wasn't a mama and a loving wife and a Christian when all that was happening. But now they about to jack your sorry country ass. Now you want to do, and earlier today, y'all, I was on with David Brody. And David, look, that good guy, we had a great conversation, and, David felt that I wasn't extending, the compassion to her that was needed, and being a Christian. I said, bruh, let me help you out with that. I said, first of all, let me be real clear. I said, married to a minister, I'm a Christian author. I said, I know the word. I said, but see, what y'all can't handle is that what she did today is what that German theologian who studied at Abyssinian Baptist Church, who got a taste of liberation theology, and took that back to Germany when they were fighting Hitler. Y'all, his name is Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Well, that German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer laid out a concept called cheap grace. And cheap grace is when folk like her stand there with their white tears, speaking about their white Christianity, asking for forgiveness, when knowing full well tomorrow you're going to go back to doing what you were doing before. Dietrich Bonhoeffer called that cheap grace. When you go to God and say, Lord, forgive me, I'm sorry, then you will hoe today, and then you turn around and you start a hoeing tomorrow, but then you want to ask God for forgiveness about your hoeing tomorrow, and then when you hoe tomorrow, you ask God for forgiveness, and you turn around and you hoe back on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the people who do that. Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me. Back to hoeing. Lord, forgive me. Back to being a freak. Lord, forgive me. Bonhoeffer called that cheap grace. That is what she think we just gonna sit here and accept. No, not happening.
And from Matthew 7:21 through 23, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do mighty works in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. That is exactly who Marjorie Greene is to her fucking core. Don't put my Lord and Savior's name in your mouth as a way to excuse the shit that you do on a daily basis. My big mama said something to me years and years ago, and it has stuck with me. She said, when you open your mouth, you remove all doubt. All she is a racist. When I was in on the coast, which I know many of us have talked about, in Ghana, and I stood in the dungeons and looked up and saw where white people were having church while my ancestors were chained butt naked in a dungeon about to leave their country on a gross journey through the transatlantic, through the Atlantic. And I can't even, I'm so angry. I am so angry because I'm tired, y'all. We have got to engage now. And I'm saying that because folks like Marjorie, that she is under the umbrella of blamelessness. So she'll always be blameless. She's a white woman, so she'll always be blameless. That speech fell exactly where it should have, on the floor. It has no power. What we have to do is understand that these folks are being trained, they're being donated to, they're giving space to actually occupy these spaces, have these committee spaces, because folks in power understand that they need other people to continue on their work of oppression. So this is what we have to do. It's not just during election time. This type of civic engagement is something that we have to be prepared to do every day of the week. Republicans are always grooming the next Marjorie. They're always grooming the next Mitch McConnell. Where are our Cori Bushes? Where are our Ayanna Pressley? Where are more of our Madam Presidents, Kamala Harris? Those are the folks that we need to be training up to assume power, to let them know, no. What you will do is you will be a member of Congress. You're going to be in Senate. You're going to be in the House of Representatives. That is the type of training that we need to have and that we need to focus on if we expect to make sure that we retain any semblance of democracy, not only just now, but for the years that are to come. Because Marjorie, that type of person, they're going to continue to roll those out left and right.
Let's actually go to in a second. Give me 1 second. We're going to go to Capitol Hill. The vote has been taken. Go.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to address the House for 1 minute and revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized for 1 minute.
Madam Speaker, it is with a heavy heart that, Madam Speaker, can I ask for the House to be brought into order? The House is not in order. Madam Speaker, it is with a heavy heart that I rise to honor the lives of two fallen FBI agents, Daniel Alfin and Laura Schwarzenberger. On Tuesday morning,
So the House is actually voting right now, and the time is up. I'm not sure if it's extended, but right now it's 230 votes. 11 Republicans, Reese, voted with the Democrats to strip her of her committee assignment.
And they still ain't shit right along with her. So that's fine. Erica just preached the whole word. So let me just start right there. And I just have to say, listen, this is who they are. This is not, she sat up there and still was talking shit about all kind of stuff. She was doubling down on all kind of stuff. She does not love all our children. She's sitting up there. The reason why she's there is because she was attacking white kids. Okay, let's be clear about that. Not because she was going after Congresswoman Ileana Omar or Rashida Tlaib. It's because she went after David Hogg and his sister, and that is appalling. It's disgusting. Okay, so she deserves to get all this stuff stripped. She is a truther about all this other kind of stuff. She want to deflect blame. Lady, you are 46 years old. You too damn old to be sitting up there acting like you ain't know no better. Oh, I was on Facebook. Oh, I was on Google. I'm not gonna say the B word on your show, but I will say motherfucker, please. Okay, you was all up in there, all into it. It got you to the Congress, and now you want people to get to know who you are. Girl, bye. Period.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it. Please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.